Morning. Today we are continuing with those shapes and angles, and we are working on PO55. I can solve an unknown angle in a triangle, like we did in our last objective, or in a quadrilateral. Who remembers what lateral means? James?
I know quad is 4, and then lateral means 4 equal sides.
Lateral means the equal sides. So there's, no, they don't have to be equal. It just means there's 4 sides. Lateral means side. Angular means the angle. So a quadrilateral, quad means 4, lateral means side. So quadrilateral has 4 sides. So every triangle, no matter its size, will have angles that add up to 180 degrees. Every quadrilateral, no matter its size, will have angles that add up to 90. Quadrilateral is 4 sides. So if we look at our 4-sided figure, if I cut it in half, what do I have?
A triangle.
I have 2 triangles. 360.
Oh.
So if I have 2 triangles, it has to equal 360 degrees. Any quadrilateral, you can cut it in half and end up with 2 triangles. So quadrilaterals will always be 360 degrees. Triangles are 180, quadrilaterals are 360. Because you get 2 triangles. It is a PO. Why is this important? Because if you know how many degrees are supposed to be in a shape, you can easily set up an equation to solve for an unknown angle. Let's take a look at these 2 below. I'm going to erase this so I can scroll up. Oi. Technology problems today for me. Sorry about that. I have to scroll up this way. All right. So we need to write an equation to solve for the missing angle. So if it's a triangle, we know it needs to equal how many degrees?
180.
180. So if we know 2 of those degree measurements, what equation could I write out to find my missing angle? James?
You could do 70 plus 60, which would equal 130.
So you are correct, but I'm looking for one equation to start with. So if we have 70 plus 60 plus x,
And minus
because
180.
x is our unknown measurement, and that's going to equal what?
180.
180. So we know how to solve for that x by doing our opposite operations. So we could subtract out 70 and 60 from 180, and we end up with just x. There's another way we could write an equation. We could say, okay, if we have 180 minus 70 minus 60, that's going to give us x. What was that, Jillian?
That's not how I do it. I did it.
Is there different ways to do math?
Yes.
Yeah. What way did you do it to solve it?
I did 70 plus 60, which equals 130. 180 minus 130. That's right.
So that way, you're doing it this way, you're adding, and then you're doing the opposite operation and subtracting it from 180. So we're actually doing the same thing, we just didn't realize it. You're doing it the mathy way without realizing you're doing it the mathy way. So what equations could we write for our quadrilateral? Thinking that our unknown measurement is our x. How could I write this out? Aiden?
Come back to me.
How much does a quadrilateral equal?
There's 360.
360. So look at what we did for the triangle. We're just going to replace that 180 with 360. So we could do 120 plus 75 plus 85 plus x equals 360. We're adding all of these up, subtracting it from 360 because we're doing that opposite operation. Instead of adding, we're going to subtract from the 360, and we're left with just x. Or we could say 360 minus 120 minus 75 minus 85 equals x.
Oh, I got it.
So if we look back at the triangle, we did 180 minus that one, minus 70 minus 60. What did we end up with? How many degrees was my x?
50.
50 degrees. What is my way to double check my answer? Bennett?
50 plus 70 plus 60.
Yeah, we're just going to add all three angles up. 50 plus 70 plus 60 doesn't give me 180. It's a really quick, easy check. So when I do my quadrilateral, if I did 360 minus 120 minus 75 minus 85, what did I get, Luciana? Did you have a question? Let me do this real quick and then we'll do a question. Jillian?
80. 60.
It is 80. It looked like a 90 at first. It is 80. How can we check if Jillian is correct?
120.
We add all four of the angles up and see if it equals 360 degrees. So should we check our answers?
Yes.
Luciana, what was your question?
How do you know whether it's 180 or 360?
Good question. How do we know if it's 180 degrees or 360 degrees? Amelia?
How do you know if it's 180 degrees if it has 3 sides, and if it's 360 if it has 4 sides?
Yeah, so if we look at the very top, we look at the very top of our paper, if it's going to let me scroll, every triangle, tri is 3, angle is angle. So every time you see the 3 angle shape, the triangle shape, you know automatically it's the 180. Every time you see a quadrilateral, quad is 4, so every time you see the 4-sided figure, it's going to be 360. So you know, if it's triangle, you use 180. If it's quadrilateral, you use 360. Good question. Jillian?
Is that what you call trimester tries? Because there's 3 tries?
Yes. Yep, trimesters, there are 3 of them. A tricycle has 3 tires. Bicycle has 2. Bi means 2.
What about semester?
A quad, like at a school, if you go out into the quad, there's 4 sides to it. Yeah, there's 4 wheels.
What about semester? Quad.
Yeah, that one I'm not sure on. All right, so in each figure below, solve for the unknown angle. So you're going to use those equations we were just talking about. We know if it's a triangle, it's out of 180. If it's a quadrilateral, it's out of 360. Subtract out what you know, you're left with your missing angle. Okay? On our second page, sometimes they don't give us angles. Uh-oh. There's no angles given. What do I do?
It's equal.
How do you know that, Jillian? These lines tell us congruency. If all 3 sides are equal, what do we know about the angles? Amelia? The numbers are all going to be the same, so they have to be what degree measurement? They all have to be the same. The only measurements where you add all 3 together to get 180 would be 60. Let's look at this one. We have 100 degrees and 100 degrees. And then we have, this angle measurement here and here. What does that mean? Aiden. So, for sides, congruency, they have a line. For angles to show congruency, they have the little arc. So if these two have the same arc, it tells us they are congruent. So how do you think we should solve this one, James?
So, since that's four sides, it's gonna be a quadrilateral.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do 100 plus 100, and then you could do minus 360.
So 360 minus the 200, the 100 and 100. So that gets us 160.
Then you divide it by 2 because there's two sides.
Oh, I have two congruent angles that are going to be the exact same measurement. So I can divide that 160 by 2 because they have to be the same measurement. What about these ones down here? Think about the math skills that we have. How can I find my missing angle if I know the outside angle? How do I find the inside angle? What math facts do we know to solve that, James?
Oh, you have to use isn't the inside number half of the outside number?
Nope. Oh, Nora. The straight line, is that what you said?
Yeah.
A straight angled line equals 180 degrees. We know one of them, so we could do 180 minus the 140 gives me that inside angle. Now I know my two inside angles, I can find my third angle. So we've learned all of these skills about angles. We're going to be using previous objectives to help us solve some of these missing angles. Aiden, do you have a question?
No.
Okay. So over here, there's two outside angles on straight lines, so that would give us the inside angles, and you can solve for the missing one. So we're just taking previous knowledge and using it to solve for these missing angles. So you might have to flip back to other objectives to see how to solve them. But it's all stuff that we have been working on so far this unit. Then on the bottom, it says, oh, time for a review. So it's the review, going back over those objectives, drawing those different angles, drawing the different triangles. So it's our way of reviewing all of these objectives. So for my friends at home, we hope you are well, and we hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.